Today we're headed to one of my favorite suburbs in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. If you have a family with children and you want access to some of the best public schools in the DFW Metroplex, Coppell, Texas might be the city for you. However, no city is perfect and neither is Coppell. That is why several years ago I sold my house and moved, because there are definitely some cons in regards to living in Coppell. And we're going to discuss the good and the bad in this video, so stay tuned. Guys, my name is Richard Soto with VIP Realty, a local real estate broker right here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And if you're new to the channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button as we do weekly videos talking all about living, working, and playing right here in North Texas. We are often imitated, but never duplicated. We do our best to bring you the most value in regards to your real estate and moving research for the whole state of Texas. Today, we're going to discuss one of my favorite suburbs in the DFW Metroplex, which is Coppell. And as we're driving into Coppell, there are going to be several ways that you can access this particular city, which quite frankly feels like a small town, and that's why I fell in love with it. You can get to Coppell from 35. Sandy Lake is going to be a very popular road that I've taken hundreds of times. Or when you're coming down 121, you have Denton Tap, where you can go into the city of Coppell, Beltline as well, or through 635 as well. So it's centrally located right here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And if you want quick access to the DFW International Airport, you will be able to get there within probably 10 minutes. In addition to that, if you like going into downtown Dallas for business or pleasure as much as I do, Dallas from Coppell is probably 20 minutes, 15 if you're riding with me. If you want to get into Tarrant County, downtown Fort Worth, probably looking at about 30 minutes. So the location here in Coppell is definitely ideal. I have so many great memories of when I lived in the city. So let's discuss the pros of living in Coppell. And don't worry, we're definitely going to cover the cons as well. As I like to say, I keep it 100 on this channel. So let's get right after it, starting with the first pro of living in Coppell. What a beautiful day in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. We're going to start with the first pro in regards to living right here in Coppell. When I first moved to Coppell, there was one reason that I wanted to live in the city of Coppell. I had a son. I knew he was about to have to attend school, so I moved to Coppell because they have an exceptional public independent school district. They have great facilities for the children. What you see, a massive football field behind me. They have an awesome basketball stadium right here to my right. So the facilities and all the equipment, but more importantly, they have some of the best teachers in the state of Texas. So for me, as a new father, I wanted to provide my son with the best education that I possibly could, and in a safe and friendly family environment. So to me, Coppell was a no-brainer. So the first pro, without question, is going to be the public ISD. According to niche.com, Coppell Independent School District is the 6th best school district in all of Texas. It's the 4th best district in all of Dallas-Fort Worth, with the Texas Education Agency rating it an A. What's more is that niche.com also estimates that most of the top 10 school districts in the state are located in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, meaning Coppell is one part of a big hub of awesome academics for a variety of age groups. So guys, if you want to have an exceptional education where your kids are going to be surrounded by great schoolmates, you're going to have access to great school teachers, and they're going to be provided with the best facilities, whether it's sports, whether it's band, track, whatever the case might be. Coppell is definitely going to be a city that you're going to want to put on your short list. Okay, guys, moving on to the second pro in regards to living in Coppell. And the second reason that I liked it so much besides the school district is the location, which we touched on earlier in the video. As I stated previously, you have quick access to the airport, to downtown Dallas, to Tarrant County, Fort Worth, Southlake. You can get to Frisco and Collin County. Wherever it is that you need to get to throughout the Metroplex and North Texas, it is going to be very convenient for the majority of the parts. And for someone like myself who's in real estate, I am on the road 7 days a week from one side of Dallas County to the other side of Tarrant County, back across into Collin County. So if you have to work in a sales field, or you just want to have quick access to different parts of the Metroplex, I get bored very quickly and I don't like to eat and shop at the same places over and over again. So I love the fact that Coppell made it very easy and convenient for me to get through and around the DFW Metroplex. Okay, another great thing about living in the city of Coppell is that they're going to have dozens of parks, which are great for recreation and free entertainment. So if you enjoy the outdoors, you'll love living right here in Coppell. They have over 17 parks, and let me tell you, they're all absolutely gorgeous. We're here at Andy Brown East, which is an extremely popular park. Right behind me, we're at Kids Country, and you can see dozens and dozens of kids out here throughout the day. It is absolutely beautiful. There's huge mature trees. In addition to that, the core is attached to this particular park. Numerous of my middle school and high school kids are members of the core. They have a basketball court, they have a gym, they have pool tables, so much entertainment for the kids to access. There's also an outdoor pool as well as an indoor pool. Even though we don't reside in Coppell, we still come to this area of town throughout the week. So if you like the outdoors, you love parks and recreation, you will love living right here in Coppell. So Kids Country is right behind me, and directly in front of me, we're on the back side of the core. However, it's basically a city recreational center where, as I stated earlier, it's got basketball courts, it's got weights. So a lot of people from the city come and utilize the core, whether it's the kids or the parents. There's a ton of adults that work out right here at the core. So instead of going to LA Fitness, 24-hour fitness, a lot of the community enjoys coming to the core, mainly because, if I'm not mistaken, you definitely get a massive discount when you're a resident of Coppell. There's great family plans. So it is awesome when you're able to go to the gym and take your 6, 7, 8-year-old with you as well. One thing that I couldn't stand with my oldest is when I used to go to LA Fitness to work out and he was only 9, 10, I couldn't take him with me. It was frustrating. However, because you have to be 13 years old to enter the premises here at the core, doesn't matter your age, mom and dad can bring all their kids, which I love. And again, it's hard to see it from this backside, but there's the massive outdoor pool, water fountain. I have such great memories of both of my kids spending hours and hours out here during the summer with their friends. Oh, great memories that'll last a lifetime. So you're starting to see a theme. If you have a family and you have kids, man, this is definitely a great place to call home. You can be single as well. However, we're not to the cons yet, but it's a beautiful, glorious, sunny day in North Texas. I think it's about 75 degrees and sunny, light breeze. And guys, I just see dozens of kids playing and laughing. Oh, what a beautiful day. And as we walk across the backside of the core, directly in front of me, you'll have a pavilion. There's massive fields on the other side as well. Duck pond, there's another outdoor basketball court. There are so many areas for you to lounge, throw the football around, kick the soccer ball, play some baseball, not only here as I stated before, I was having a hard time choosing which park to go to because there's so many great parks and recreation right here in the city of Coppell, Texas. Another pro in regards to living in Coppell is going to be that it's safe and secure. So the crime rate in the city of Coppell is definitely going to be lower than the national average. So if you forget your iPhone, you happen to run to the nearest restroom, it's a very good possibility, and it's a probability that your phone will still be right where you left it. So guys, I love the fact that this city feels like a small town. It's got family values, it's got great schools, great location, and to top it off, it's very, very safe. I assure you, there are parts of the Metroplex where if I'm even in a public place like a restaurant and I leave my phone as I go to the restroom, and if I'm halfway there and I forget that I left it and I come to realize that it's not in my pocket, I sprint to get back to the table because it's a very good possibility that it will be snatched up within seconds and you won't have that issue right here in Coppell. Also, as most of you know, my uncle has a gym, a boxing gym in Fort Worth, so you won't have to take training lessons to defend yourself here in Coppell because it's a nice, quiet, safe town, and I absolutely love that about this city. Before we start discussing the real estate options, I decided to swing by my favorite neighborhood, not only in Coppell, but throughout the DFW Metroplex. I'm with our friend here, Pete, who is a resident right here at the Red Hawk neighborhood. So I wanted Pete to discuss what he likes and dislikes in regards to living in the city of Coppell. So Pete, oh, by the way, here's Pete's dog, Zeus, who is an absolutely beautiful, well-trained. You don't need a leash for Zeus, unlike my dog at home who will run amok. Look at this. Jeez almighty. Pete, where did you get Zeus trained?
At All Dogs Unleashed.
There you go, guys. If your dog is pretty wild like mine, I'm actually gonna take Pete's advice and take my dog into the training facility so he can sit and not act ridiculous. But Pete, tell us a little bit about how long have you lived here in the city of Coppell?
Gosh, since '99. We were in Valley Ranch.
Got it.
Moved over here when the kids were of school age to get them in the schools, you know.
So Pete, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but the reason you moved from one area to Coppell is because the school district was probably better?
Initially.
Got it.
You betcha. Because I mean, the kids, we wanted to at least have them the opportunity to go to a public school and not have to go to, I mean, we thought about faith, you know, because we're Christians. And,
sure.
You know, we thought about maybe, obviously having to go to something like that. But the schools here basically were well run, just like a private.
Right.
Most people don't know, but back in those days, people used to put their kids in private school and they'd have them back saying, why should I move them?
Right.
It's still the same here and I'm already paying for it in my real estate taxes.
Right, exactly.
So that was one of the things.
Got it, got it.
This area, I love it. I mean, this particular neighborhood, if you want to know anything about Red Hawk, I can tell you that Terry Holmes built all but 3. He's a local builder. He lives a couple blocks away from here. They're very unique homes. A lot less expensive probably than what you'd pay out in South Lake for the same size home. And you still have all the conveniences because everything's 15 minutes away.
Sure, and actually, we were just discussing a con, and we're gonna get right into the cons. One of the cons that I was discussing with him is that there's a lack of entertainment and things to do, but he's absolutely correct. You don't have to travel far to get into South Lake, to downtown Dallas. As we stated earlier, the location in Coppell is going to be exceptional. But tell me, Pete, what don't you like about Coppell, because it can't be perfect?
Well, if there is a convenience of having to do something, just like you said, you do have to still drive a little bit to get it.
Right.
And exactly what you said. I wish there were more restaurants that would have come in this area. I wish there would have been a little bit more entertainment. When they did old downtown Coppell, you know, Billingsley opened up the the place over there, what's it called? Over by the lake over here.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of
Cypress
the
Water.
Yes, correct.
So that took a little bit away from what they were trying to do over
Right.
here. So activity-wise, they just kind of missed the boat.
Right.
You know, you got to go elsewhere to find the activities, and you know, for that matter, some of the better restaurants. Still, look, Jay at Anamia's. Come on, man. You gotta love Jay at Anamia's.
Absolutely.
You know, that's a staple here. It's where he started, and he's a good guy too, by the way.
If you like Mexican food as much as I do, especially if you like yourself a nice mojito, to this day, and I've traveled the world, Anamia's right here in Coppell serves up some of the best mojitos in the world. And number two that I absolutely love is their table-side guacamole. Let me tell you, I've gone to Mexico, all over Mexico, and Anamia's table-side guacamole is still the best. But absolutely, I believe the city of Coppell is exceptional. It's a great place to live, especially if you have children. But the entertainment is definitely going to be lacking. Maybe Pete and I are going to get together and figure out what type of restaurant or entertainment we can bring to the city, because I think there's going to be a lot of money if you know what you're doing. So guys, if there's a developer out there, give me a call. I'm not only a real estate broker, I can broker other deals as well. Now, another con.
Good, man.
Oh,
You're
thank
good.
you, brother. Thank you. Now, let me say this. So when I lived here, it was the entertainment.
Yeah.
And that's why I moved. It's just the lack of entertainment. But number two, the taxes are really high in Coppell. What do you think about that, or how do you feel about that as a resident?
I got to tell you, it's got to be one of the safest places.
True.
We pay for that, I guess.
True.
You know, we just got kids going down the neighborhood, and they're going around, and their parents aren't anywhere around. They're letting them do it. I mean, that's what I'm saying, is there is a lot of safety here.
Right.
If you're paying a little extra in your taxes, it's because you're taking care of the guys in the blue. Trust me, that's a good thing to have.
That is an excellent point. As before we even started talking to Pete, one of the pros was the safety of living in Coppell. And guys, if you want to live in an exceptional city with great schools where your kids are safe, and you're right, I don't see any parents in sight, and these girls are cruising 100 miles an hour. Look at her go. I love it. Man, there is nothing better than being inside your home, knowing that your kids are safe and secure and you don't have a worry in the world. That is a great feeling, and believe me, most families that can will pay for that safety without an issue. Yes, I was probably cheap, Pete, when I said I don't want to pay those high taxes.
I've never liked them.
Right. No, I get it. I'll say this, okay? Listen, I live in Las Colinas. Depending on what area, Las Colinas is a nice area as well, right?
Area.
It's a great area.
You live over by the club over there?
Yeah, so, you know, just depending on where you reside, Coppell as a whole is going to be safe. You're not going to have any issues. And, you know, there's certain areas of town where I'm just not going to let my son walk off more than 10 feet away from me. And Coppell, you don't have that issue. Great family environment. Pete, I don't want to take up your day. I really appreciate your time.
Nice meeting you, Richard.
Thank you so much. It's good to meet you.
God bless y'all.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Okay, moving on to the next con, and probably the biggest con in regards to living in Coppell, and that is going to be the cost of living. So if you're on a tight budget, you're trying to be frugal, you want to save some money, Coppell is not going to be that city. So go ahead and cross it off your list, because pretty much everything in the city of Coppell is going to be quite a bit higher than the national average. Coppell housing expenses are 7% higher than the national average, and the utility prices are 18% higher than the national average. Transportation expenses like bus fares and gas prices are 1% lower than the national average, considering that there is no public transportation in the city of Coppell. Coppell also has grocery prices that are 9% lower than the national average. And guys, listen, when I do my research online, a lot of times it's just not right. Let me tell you, that stat in regards to the groceries, gas, and all that, I went to about 3 or 4 different websites. They all had the same stats, and I can tell you this, that is not a fact, okay? Or I'm gonna dispute that, because Coppell, even at the grocery stores, are going to be rather expensive. Right here in Coppell, you're going to have 3 grocery stores that the people frequent. One is Kroger. That's the one that I used to go to because one, it was the closest and it was the least expensive. Two, you have Tom Thumb right here off of Sandy Lake. And three, you have Sprouts. However, the majority of the residents, again, because not everything, which is a con, is located within the city of Coppell, they take a very short drive, maybe 5 to 10 minutes, to Central Market, which is in Louisville, and that grocery store pretty much has everything. Some of the best food that you can pick up that's pre-made right there at their little deli, restaurant, whatever the case is. And obviously they have groceries, but that is probably where the majority of the residents in Coppell do their grocery shopping, and I'm gonna tell you, it's not cheap. While we're staying on the topic of cost of living, another big item which you'll have to deal with right here in Coppell is going to be the real estate prices. Living in Coppell is going to be very expensive. The median home price is going to be around $600,000, and I assure you, it's not going to be a new construction with all the upgrades. It's most likely going to be an older home that needs some updating. The price per square foot average is around $240 per square foot. So as you can see, the majority of the prices in regards to real estate are going to be higher than the national average. And while we're discussing the real estate here in Coppell, if you're wanting new construction, there is going to be limited new construction within the city because all the land is pretty much gone. So there are not a lot of options in regards to new construction. So when a new home does come up, actually there was one new home available that's being built at the Red Hawk subdivision, and the home is going to be incredible. It is going to be listed at $1.7 million. So if that's within your budget, you want to move to Coppell and live in probably the coolest neighborhood in Coppell, give me a call and I'll definitely set up that showing for you. But again, new construction sorely lacking and very high real estate prices right here in the city of Coppell. Okay guys, we left what I called my favorite subdivision, which is the Red Hawk neighborhood. Now I'm at the Springs and I'm starting to second guess what my favorite neighborhood is. Let me slow down and come to a stop, and then we'll move forward, and I just kind of want you to see the difference between the two neighborhoods. In my opinion, these are the two most popular, or I would consider my favorite neighborhoods in the city of Coppell. Oh, I don't know. My neighborhood was very nice too. Oh gosh, guys. Homes are expensive in Coppell, but there are numerous very nice neighborhoods within the city. Where I lived prior, we had waterways, I had a huge fountain, so there was man-made lakes within the neighborhood, which is very nice. Red Hawk doesn't have that. The Springs doesn't offer that either. So it's really what you're wanting within your community. Red Hawk, I love the fact that every home is custom made. Not one elevation is the same. I mean, every home is stunning, 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 and they all look totally different. Nothing worse than living in a community where every house down each street looks the same. Who wants to live in that neighborhood? I know I wouldn't. The Springs right here is older homes. Okay, so the Red Hawk community are all fairly newer homes. Here, it's older homes, however, again, they're all custom, different elevations. What I like about this neighborhood a little bit better is the mature trees. Huge mature trees. Obviously, this is more of an established neighborhood. The roads just look absolutely beautiful. We're in the wintertime, so you don't see all that lush greenery and the massive trees as you typically would. However, it's a total different feel in regards to the community. So the good thing is, whatever it is that you're looking for in Coppell in regards to housing, you can find. However, as we stated earlier, it won't be cheap. Another thing to consider in regards to the real estate options, and this could be a con or it could be a pro, and quite frankly, I find it a massive pro. But again, some people could call it a con, and that is that there's limited apartments in the city of Coppell, which I like. So if you're wanting a rental in regards to apartments, very, very limited inventory of apartment rentals, duplexes, things like that. There are a couple throughout the city, but it's going to be limited in regards to the inventory. In addition to that, if you're looking to purchase a home, as we stated earlier, new construction is almost going to be out of the question. But not only that, homes within the city typically sell very quickly because Coppell is a very desirable area. So there's not a ton of inventory on the market at all times like the majority of the cities in North Texas, whether it's Dallas, Fort Worth, even Frisco, Plano. There's very limited homes that come on the market, and when they do come, they usually sell fast and for top dollar, which is a pro if you're the seller, but it could be a con if you're the buyer. Now, as we are about to leave the Springs, once again, love this community. Let's move on to the next con. And as we're leaving the neighborhood, nice friendly drive, but once we get onto Denton Tap, there's going to be construction and there's going to be traffic. And I don't even know why there's construction on Denton Tap right now. I guess they're redoing the roads, but this is a small city. However, it's growing rapidly throughout the DFW Metroplex, and there's some arteries where you can get from 635 to 121 or to 35 going through the city of Coppell, and I tend to do that quite often when I'm traveling nearby Coppell. But traffic is an issue because there's not a lot of roads with a lot of lanes, and as we drive up to Denton Tap, there's going to be 2 lanes going one way, 2 lanes going the other. So traffic becomes a disaster in the evenings as people are coming home. You do not want to be on Denton Tap, Sandy Lake, because it is going to be bumper to bumper traffic. We utilize the Coppell ISD for the basketball program that I run. And whenever we have practice, even at 6:30 in the evening, the traffic is just starting to die down. Sometimes I get into the city of Coppell a little bit earlier to set up the gym or whatever the case is. And if it's around 5:36, man, it is brutal. So if you don't like traffic and you're having to commute to work in the evenings, it's a disaster. Number 2, in regards to traffic, there's only one high school in the city of Coppell. And guys, when I used to have to drop off my oldest son when he was a freshman, it was a nightmare. There's only one artery into the school and one artery out. And when I tell you the traffic is miles out, that is no exaggeration. Parents, not only me, but every parent that I knew couldn't stand it. I thought about getting Caleb a skateboard and just sending his little butt on the way to school, but obviously he wasn't having it. So traffic is a major issue in the city. You think Dallas traffic is bad. It might not be as bad as getting into downtown off of 35 because it goes for miles, but I assure you the traffic is just as bad as just a smaller location within the Metroplex. Directly in front of me, I am at the crossroads of Sandy Lake and Denton Tap, pretty much the heart of Coppell. And around this particular block, you're going to have shopping centers in every direction, which are small retail shopping centers. And while there's numerous little shopping centers, there's not much in any of them. I don't know what these little shopping centers have, but it's not good shopping, I can assure you that. So that's my next con, is the lack of shopping and entertainment. Coppell has a lot to offer, but if you're single, or even if you're married, there's not a lot to do right here in the city of Coppell. You're going to have to leave. And when I resided in Coppell, that was pretty much quite a bit during the week, and it wasn't for work, just so I could have some different restaurant options. If I needed to get shoes for the kids or I needed to get clothing, whatever the case is, we'd probably go to Dallas to North Park Mall. By the way, it's the best mall in the state of Texas, so North Park, or we'd go to Frisco Mall, which is the Stonebriar Mall. It wasn't here. Now, some people will tell me, well, the Louisville Mall is literally 8 minutes up the road. Yes, but the Louisville Mall doesn't have much to offer either. Other people will tell me, well, Richard, the Grapevine Mall is about 15 minutes away. Nah, it's a lot of outlets. I'm not feeling it. It's not my type of mall per se. So you're going to have to drive out of the city. So not only that, here is probably the best thing about Coppell, which is right behind me, which is Anna Mia's, as we discussed earlier with Pete. Actually, I'm gonna have to call Pete here in a minute. I got his number. I'm gonna tell him to come meet me for some guacamole and some steak tacos. If you're in Coppell, Texas, definitely swing by this restaurant. It is literally one of my favorite Mexican restaurants pretty much anywhere around the world. Love the food here, love the drinks as well. But a big con, going back to it, is the lack of entertainment, is the lack of things to do, the lack of restaurants. I can't even think of where else I would go to eat. In Coppell, I see Chipotle, you know, there's some pizza places, Wendy's, Taco Bell. I'm trying to think of what other restaurants. I'm sure there's a couple more, I can't think of them, but they're not memorable. And if I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments. I will come to the establishment and grab some food. I would love to be wrong. I know I've gone to a couple of other restaurants right here on this shopping center as well. Had some burgers, which were pretty good. But you know, if you want some fine dining, things like that, it's not going to happen in Coppell. Guys, it is a beautiful day. The patio is right behind me. I am at one of my favorite restaurants in the DFW Metroplex. It is 3:23. I have not eaten today. I had some other topics I wanted to discuss. However, I'm getting kind of hangry. My camera person is getting mad at me, almost tossed the camera at me. So I'm gonna have to wrap it up. I'm gonna grab myself some lunch and have one of the best mojitos in the state of Texas. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video today. If you're thinking about relocating to Coppell, the DFW Metroplex, or throughout the state of Texas, my team and I would love to assist you with your next real estate transaction. For now, I will see you on the next video, but it's time to get some food.